Welcome back. We are talking about a really important organization and another community event now, and we're joined by Alice Kubicek. I was so concerned about your last name, I tried to call you Alex. And first of all, before we talk about your event, Daybreak Nonprofit Housing.
Yep.
We were talking about this in the commercial break, is not that many people are aware of what you do. What do you do?
That is actually a really good question. I was actually going to ask you to start off whether or not you've ever heard of Daybreak Nonprofit Housing.
27 years in television here locally, and I am not familiar with Daybreak.
Daybreak, we incorporated in 1982. Marion Dewar, in fact, former mayor, she opened up our first house.
Yeah.
We now have 5 houses and 46 residents. We offer housing to single males and females. And we fall under the category of supportive housing. So not only do we provide them with community-based homes, but we provide them with programming support. So if they're recovering from addictions, for example, or if they've had some trauma or PTSD in their past, then we help to find them the supports they need to recover from those.
So really important work. Why is it that we don't know much about it? Is it that the residents want their privacy, or?
I think it's a combination of things.
Okay.
Indeed, there have been, and for obvious reasons, a need for confidentiality and privacy. But there's a lot of agencies in town that provide housing, and we've been flying under the radar because we don't actually fit neatly into either social housing, which is the landlord definition, such as Ottawa Community Housing, for example,
right,
or strictly supportive housing where they have on-site 24/7 staff. So we don't have staff on site. We have a small office. We provide 24/7 on-call service, but we have residents who are pretty self-sufficient, so we expect them to be able to do for themselves. And I think that for that reason, we haven't really been identified as someone who merits a lot of publicity.
Right, so you're flying under the radar a little bit because you don't fit into column A or column
exactly.
B, column
Yeah.
C. And fairly self-sufficient. So do you select the people from a list that get to stay in one of your residences?
So there is a social housing registry in Ottawa, and anyone who wants to get housed would apply and be registered on that registry. They would indicate they want to stay at Daybreak Nonprofit Housing, and then we would go to that section of the registry and we would select those who fit our profile.
I would imagine the demand is pretty high.
Well, every day, the 2016 report from the Alliance to End Homelessness in Ottawa recorded that there was 7,000 homeless families, single adults, and youth in total. That's an increase from years previously. So, and we don't have enough affordable housing for all of them. So there are quite a few agencies in town that really focus on the creation of affordable housing. We try to fit into a different kind of a niche where we are focusing on providing quality programming to assist those individuals reach their road to recovery and independence.
When they leave, are you seeing that they are able to take the lessons that you've taught them and develop successful lives leaving your facility?
That's the idea.
Yeah.
That's exactly the idea.
Great.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do now for the next 3 years, in fact, we're focusing on programming, quality programming. And I apologize if I'm talking too fast. I was told that
you're not talking too fast.
Down a bit. But we're
from one fast talker to another.
No, for the next 3 years, we really want to focus on creating and designing, creating, and delivering quality programming to these residents. They've identified that they would like to have programming that's better aligned to their specific needs. And although there are many outreach services in the city and there are agencies that specifically provide programming, there isn't any one agency that focuses on an individual needs assessment and then provides that programming for that individual to do it at their own pace and to be there and take as much time as they need to before they feel ready to move on.
I'm going to get you to just tell us quickly about your event in a moment, but I'm always amazed that as a society, we invest so much money in treating people later when prevention could have been a far more efficient way of spending money.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So tell us about your event.
So we're having what we call the Autumn Musical Gala at the NAC4 stage on Wednesday, October the 18th.
It's coming up.
It's coming up.
Next week.
Yeah, tickets are selling fast. I just checked and I think we only have about 20 tickets left.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And quickly before we go, where can they get those last 20 tickets?
They can get it through Ticketmaster or at the NEC box office.
Oh, good.
They can also call the office if they want to. We do have some tickets set aside.
Perfect.
And we have